You know what's stopping you right now? It's not your circumstances. It's not the economy. It's not your past. It's not even the people around you who tell you that you can't do it. What's stopping you is something so simple, so subtle, yet so powerful that most people spend their entire lives under its control without ever recognizing it. It's doubt, that whisper in your mind that says you're not enough, you're not ready, you're not capable. And today I'm going to show you how to destroy that doubt forever. Not someday, not when you feel ready, but right now, in this very moment. The fastest way to eliminate doubt from your life is to understand one fundamental truth that changes everything. You are not what you think you are. You are what you think. Let that settle in for a moment. Your thoughts are not observations of reality. They are the creators of your reality. Every single thing you see in your life right now, every condition, every circumstance, every relationship started as a thought. That job you have or don't have, that started as a thought. That relationship that's working or not working, that started as a thought. The money in your bank account or the lack of it, that started as a thought. Your health, your happiness, your sense of purpose, all of it began in the invisible world of your thinking. Now here's where it gets interesting. Most people go through life thinking their thoughts are happening to them, like weather patterns they have no control over. They wake up and think, well, I feel doubtful today, I guess that's just how it is. But that's not how it works at all. Your thoughts are not visitors from some external force. They are choices you're making, whether you realize it or not. And the moment you understand that you have complete dominion over what you think, you step into a power that is absolutely unlimited. Doubt lives in the gap between what you want and what you currently see. It feeds on the difference between your desire and your present circumstances. You want to start that business, but you look at your bank account and doubt creeps in. You want to write that book, but you look at your credentials and doubt tells you that you're not qualified. You want to attract love, but you look at your past relationships and doubt convinces you that you're not worthy. See what's happening here? You're letting what is determine what will be. You're letting your current reality dictate your future possibilities. And that is the greatest mistake you can make. The law of assumption is incredibly simple, and that's why most people miss it. They're looking for something complicated, some secret formula, some difficult practice, but the truth is right in front of you. Whatever you assume to be true becomes true in your experience. Not sometimes, not occasionally, always. Your assumptions create your reality with absolute precision. If you assume people don't like you, you'll find evidence everywhere that confirms it. If you assume money is hard to come by, you'll struggle financially. If you assume you're unlucky, unfortunate events will seem to follow you around. Not because the universe is punishing you, but because your assumption is acting like a magnet, drawing to you the exact circumstances that match what you believe. So here's the game changer. Instead of assuming what you see, start seeing what you assume. Stop giving power to your current circumstances. Stop bowing down to what appears to be true right now. Your present circumstances are nothing but the result of your past thinking. They have no power over your future unless you give them that power. And you give them power every single time you look at them and say, this is how it is, this is reality, I have to accept this. No, you don't. You don't have to accept anything that you don't want to experience. When doubt comes knocking at your door, and it will come, here's what you need to understand. Doubt is not your enemy. Doubt is actually showing you where you're still living in the old story. It's pointing out where you're still identifying with your past, with your limitations, with your fears. So instead of fighting doubt, instead of trying to push it away or pretend it doesn't exist, thank it. Thank it for showing you exactly where you need to shift your assumption. Every time you feel doubt, it's an invitation to choose again. It's life saying to you, hey, you're thinking from your old identity. You're assuming from your past. Would you like to choose something different? And here's how you choose something different. You don't affirm your way out of doubt by repeating words you don't believe. You don't visualize for hours trying to convince yourself of something that feels fake. You simply decide. You make a decision about who you are and what is true for you, regardless of what you currently see. This is not positive thinking. This is not pretending. This is claiming your right as a conscious creator to define your own reality. Let me tell you something that might sound radical. You don't need evidence before you believe. You believe, and then the evidence shows up. That's how creation works. That's how everything that has ever been created came into being. Someone believed it first. They assumed it first. They claimed it in their consciousness first. And then the physical world rearranged itself to match that assumption. The Wright brothers assumed humans could fly before anyone had evidence of it. Edison assumed he could capture light in a bulb before it existed. Every artist, every inventor, every person who has ever achieved anything meaningful started by assuming it was possible when everyone else said it wasn't. You have that same power right now. Not someday when you're more spiritual, not when you're more evolved, not when you read more books or do more practices. Right now, in this moment, you have the complete power to assume anything you want about yourself and your life. The question is, will you use it? Or will you keep giving your power away to circumstances, to other people's opinions, to your past failures, to that voice of doubt that wants to keep you playing small? Here's what I want you to understand about that voice of doubt. It's not even your voice. It's a collection of every limiting belief you've ever absorbed from your parents, your teachers, society, the media, anyone who ever told you that you couldn't do something. That voice is not the truth about you. It's just old programming running on autopilot. And the beautiful thing about programming is that it can be changed. You can install new software in your mind anytime you choose. The fastest way to destroy doubt is to stop arguing with it. Stop trying to prove to yourself that you can do it. Stop looking for evidence. Stop waiting for permission. Stop asking if you're worthy. You are worthy because you exist. Your desires are given to you because you have the capacity to fulfill them. You wouldn't have the dream if you didn't have the ability to make it real. That's how the universe works. It doesn't tease you with visions of things you can never have. It shows you what's possible for you, what's already yours in potential, waiting for you to claim it in consciousness. So how do you claim it? You start living from the end. You start thinking from the assumption that what you want is already done. Not that it's coming, not that it might happen, but that it is done. This is not about lying to yourself. This is about recognizing a higher truth. In the realm of infinite possibilities, everything already exists. The version of you that has already achieved what you want exists right now. The life you want to live is already being lived by another version of you. And the only difference between that version and this version is the assumption you're holding in consciousness. When you wake up in the morning, what's your first thought? Is it about your problems? Is it about what you lack? Is it about what didn't work out yesterday? Or is it about who you're becoming? Is it about what you're grateful for? Is it about the reality you're creating? The thoughts you think in those first few moments after waking are incredibly powerful because your subconscious mind is most receptive then. You're setting the tone for your entire day. You're choosing which version of yourself you're going to be. And throughout the day, when doubt tries to creep back in, you catch it. You become aware of it. You don't judge yourself for having the thought. You simply recognize it and choose again. You say, oh, there's that old pattern again. But that's not who I am anymore. That's not what I'm creating. I am assuming something different now. And then you return to your new assumption. You return to the feeling of already being who you want to be, of already having what you want to have. This is not a one-time thing. This is a practice. This is a way of life. You're training your mind to default to possibility instead of limitation, to faith instead of fear, to creation instead of reaction. And every time you catch yourself in doubt and consciously choose a different thought, you're weakening the old pattern and strengthening the new one. You're literally rewiring your brain. You're changing the neural pathways that have kept you stuck for so long. Now, some people will tell you that changing your thoughts isn't enough, that you need to take action. And yes, action is important. But here's what they miss. When you change your assumption, the action becomes natural. You don't have to force it. You don't have to motivate yourself with fear or pressure. The right actions flow effortlessly from the right consciousness. When you truly assume you're successful, you naturally do what successful people do. When you truly assume you're healthy, you naturally make healthy choices. When you truly assume you're loved, you naturally attract loving relationships. The doubt that has been holding you back is nothing but a habit of thought, and any habit can be changed. You've probably changed many habits in your life. Maybe you used to bite your nails and now you don't. Maybe you used to eat certain foods and now you don't. Maybe you used to behave in certain ways and now you don't. If you can change those habits, you can change the habit of doubt. It's just a pattern that's been running for a long time. But a pattern is not who you are. It's just something you've been doing. Here's a powerful question to ask yourself whenever doubt arises. What would I be thinking and feeling right now if I already had what I want? Really sit with that question. If you already had that thriving business, how would you be moving through your day? If you already had that loving relationship, how would you be feeling in this moment? If you already had that healthy body, what would you be doing right now? And then, here's the key, start thinking those thoughts and feeling those feelings right now. Don't wait until the circumstances change. Change your inner state first and watch the circumstances follow. This is not wishful thinking. This is not fantasy. This is the most practical, powerful thing you can do. Because your inner state is the cause and your outer circumstances are the effect. Most people have it backwards. They think when their circumstances change, then they'll feel better, then they'll think differently. But it doesn't work that way. You have to feel it first. You have to assume it first. You have to be it first in consciousness, and then it manifests in form. And here's something beautiful that happens when you start living this way. You stop being attached to how and when things show up. You stop trying to force and control every detail. You stop exhausting yourself trying to figure it all out because you've already assumed it's done. You've already claimed it in consciousness. And now you can relax and let the universe arrange the details. You can be open to receiving it in ways you never could have planned or predicted. You become available to miracles because you're not locked into your limited ideas about how things have to happen. Doubt wants you to figure everything out ahead of time. Doubt wants you to see the entire path before you take the first step. Doubt wants guarantees and proof and certainty, but creation doesn't work that way. Creation requires you to leap into the unknown with nothing but your assumption to guide you. It requires you to trust in something you can't yet see. It requires you to be willing to look foolish, to be misunderstood, to stand alone in your knowing while everyone else questions you. And yes, people will question you. When you start changing, when you start assuming something greater for yourself, some people won't understand. Some people will try to pull you back into the old story. They'll remind you of your past failures. They'll tell you to be realistic, to be practical, to not get your hopes up. But here's what you need to understand. Those people are speaking from their own limitations, not yours. They're projecting their own doubts onto you. They're telling you what they believe about themselves, not what's true about you. And you don't have to accept their limitations as your own. You have the right to assume anything you want. You have the right to claim any identity you choose. You have the right to define reality on your own terms. No one can take that away from you unless you give them permission. And every time you let someone else's opinion shake your assumption, you're giving your power away. Every time you let your current circumstances determine your thoughts, you're giving your power away. Every time you let fear and doubt run the show, you're giving your power away. But the moment you take that power back, everything changes. The moment you decide that you are the author of your story, that you are the creator of your reality, that you are the one who determines what's possible for you, you step into a life of unlimited potential. You stop being a victim of circumstances and become a master of your destiny. You stop reacting to life and start creating it. Now, let's talk about what happens when you apply this consistently, because that's the key. One day of positive thinking won't change your life. One moment of assuming success while you spend the rest of the week drowning in doubt won't work. This requires consistency. This requires dedication. This requires you to be vigilant about what you're thinking and feeling and assuming throughout each day. But here's the good news. It gets easier. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. The more you choose your new assumption over your old doubt, the stronger that new pattern becomes. Think about it like working out. The first time you go to the gym, it's hard. Your muscles ache. You feel weak. You wonder if you can do it. But if you keep going, if you stay consistent, your muscles get stronger. The workout gets easier. What once felt impossible becomes effortless. Your mind works the same way. The first time you catch yourself in doubt and choose a new thought, it might feel awkward. It might feel unnatural. You might not believe it. But if you keep doing it, if you stay consistent, your mental muscles get stronger. Your ability to hold your new assumption gets easier. What once felt impossible becomes your new normal. And here's what I want you to really get. Your doubt is not a sign that you're on the wrong path. Your doubt is not a sign that you should give up. Your doubt is not a sign that it's not meant to be. Your doubt is simply showing you where you still need to strengthen your assumption. It's showing you where you're still clinging to the old story. It's giving you an opportunity to choose again, to recommit to your vision, to stand firm in your knowing. Every great person who has ever lived has faced doubt. Every successful person you admire has had moments where they questioned themselves. The difference is they didn't let the doubt stop them. They didn't let the doubt become their reality. They used the doubt as fuel. They used it as a reminder of why they needed to stay committed to their vision. They felt the doubt, acknowledged it, and then chose their assumption anyway. This is the mature approach to creating your reality. It's not about never feeling doubt. It's not about being positive all the time. It's about being aware of what you're thinking and feeling, and then consciously choosing the thoughts and feelings that support what you want to create. It's about taking responsibility for your inner state instead of blaming your circumstances. It's about recognizing that you are always at choice in every moment, no matter what's happening around you. So what assumption are you making right now about yourself? Are you assuming you're stuck? Are you assuming you're not good enough? Are you assuming life is hard? Are you assuming you can't change? Or are you willing to assume something different? Are you willing to assume that you have unlimited potential? Are you willing to assume that your past doesn't define your future? Are you willing to assume that you can create anything you want? Because here's the truth. Whatever you assume becomes your experience. If you assume you're limited, you'll find limitations everywhere. If you assume you're powerful, you'll find evidence of your power everywhere. If you assume life is difficult, you'll struggle. If you assume life is supporting you, you'll find support in unexpected places. Your assumption is like a filter through which you experience reality. Change the filter and you change what you see. And the beautiful thing about this is that you don't need anyone's permission to change your assumption. You don't need to convince anyone else. You don't need to wait for circumstances to improve. You can change your assumption right now, in this very moment, regardless of what's happening in your life. You can decide right now that you are no longer going to be ruled by doubt. You can decide right now that you are going to assume the best about yourself and your life. You can decide right now that you are going to live from the end result instead of from your current circumstances. This is not about denying reality. This is about creating a new reality. This is not about ignoring your problems. This is about rising above them by changing the consciousness that created them in the first place. Every problem you have exists in a certain level of thinking. You can't solve that problem from the same level of thinking that created it. You have to rise to a higher level. You have to assume a different identity. You have to see yourself and your life from a completely different perspective. And when you do that, when you truly shift your assumption, something miraculous happens. The problem either dissolves on its own or the solution appears effortlessly. Because the problem was never really the problem. Your thinking about the problem was the problem. Your assumption about the problem was the problem. Change the assumption and the problem loses its power over you. Let me give you a practical way to work with this. Tonight, before you go to sleep, think about what you want to experience in your life. Don't think about what you don't want. Don't focus on what's wrong. Think about what you want. And then ask yourself, how would I feel if this was already true? What would I be thinking about? What would my inner state be like? And then, as you fall asleep, let yourself feel those feelings. Let yourself think those thoughts. Let yourself assume that it's already done. Your subconscious mind is most receptive right before sleep. And whatever thoughts and feelings you fall asleep with will work on your behalf throughout the night. Then, when you wake up in the morning, before you check your phone, before you start worrying about your day, take a few moments to return to that feeling. Return to that assumption. Set the tone for your day by consciously choosing your inner state. And throughout the day, whenever you notice doubt creeping in, pause, take a breath, and choose again. Return to your assumption. Return to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. This is not a complicated process. It's actually incredibly simple, but simple doesn't mean easy. It requires awareness. It requires discipline. It requires you to be the guardian of your own mind. It requires you to stop letting external circumstances dictate your internal state. It requires you to stop being a victim and become a creator. And here's what happens when you commit to this practice. Your entire life begins to transform. Not overnight, but gradually, consistently, powerfully. You start attracting different opportunities. You start meeting different people. You start seeing possibilities where you used to see obstacles. You start feeling more confident, more peaceful, more joyful, not because your circumstances have necessarily changed yet, but because you've changed. You've shifted who you're being. You've assumed a new identity, and from that new identity, a new life emerges. The old you was ruled by doubt, by fear, by limitation. The new you is ruled by faith, by love, by infinite possibility. The old you looked at circumstances to determine what to think. The new you chooses what to think regardless of circumstances. The old you was a reactor, the new you is a creator, and that shift, that fundamental shift in how you relate to yourself and your life changes everything. Now, I want to address something important. Some people hear about the law of assumption and they think it means they just sit on their couch and think positive thoughts and wait for things to magically appear. That's not what this is about. This is about aligning your entire being with what you want to create. Your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, your words, everything must align with your new assumption. When you truly assume you're successful, you don't act like someone who's struggling. When you truly assume you're abundant, you don't think and speak from lack. When you truly assume you're confident, you don't behave timidly. The assumption must be lived, not just thought. It must be embodied, not just visualized. You must become it in consciousness before you can see it in form. And when you truly become it in consciousness, the appropriate actions flow naturally. You don't have to force yourself to do things. You're pulled forward by your vision. You're guided by your inner knowing. You're moved by inspiration rather than desperation. This is the difference between trying to make things happen and allowing things to happen. When you're trying to make things happen, you're coming from a place of lack. You're assuming you don't have it, and you're trying to get it. That energy of trying and forcing actually pushes away what you want. But when you're allowing things to happen, you're coming from a place of already having it. You've assumed it's done. You're simply allowing the physical manifestation to catch up with your inner reality. That energy of allowing and receiving opens the door for miracles. Doubt is exhausting because it keeps you in a constant state of trying. You're trying to prove yourself. You're trying to make things work. You're trying to control every detail. You're trying to force outcomes. But when you destroy doubt by assuming what you want is already done, you can relax. You can trust. You can be at peace. You can enjoy the process. You're no longer fighting against life, you're flowing with it. And here's the paradox. When you stop trying so hard, when you stop struggling and forcing, things come to you more easily. When you relax into your assumption, when you trust in the process, when you let go of attachment to specific outcomes and timelines, the universe can deliver to you in ways that are far better than anything you could have planned. But as long as you're gripping tightly to how you think it should happen, as long as doubt is making you try to control everything, you block the flow. So destroying doubt is not just about feeling better. It's about opening yourself up to receive. It's about removing the resistance that's blocking your good. It's about getting out of your own way and letting life work through you instead of against you. It's about surrendering the small, limited, doubt-filled version of yourself and stepping into the expanded, unlimited, faith-filled version that has always been there, waiting for you to claim it. You see, the version of you without doubt already exists. The version of you that is confident, successful, abundant, loved, healthy, joyful, that version is already real. It's not something you need to become. It's something you need to remember. It's something you need to assume. It's something you need to claim as your identity right now. Not after you achieve certain things. Not after you prove yourself. Not after you overcome your past. Right now, as you are, where you are. Because here's the secret that most people never learn. You don't become worthy by achieving things. You achieve things because you already know you're worthy. Worthiness is not earned. It's inherent. It's your birthright. You were born worthy. You were born with unlimited potential. You were born connected to the infinite creative power of the universe. Doubt has just made you forget that. Doubt has convinced you that you're small, that you're limited, that you're not enough. But that was always a lie. The truth is, you are enough. You have always been enough. You will always be enough. And the moment you assume that truth, the moment you claim that identity, the moment you stop doubting and start knowing, your entire world transforms. Not because the world changes, but because you change. And when you change, when you shift your assumption, when you destroy doubt at its root, the world has no choice but to reflect that change back to you. This is the law. This is how it works. This is the fastest way to destroy doubt forever. Not by fighting it, not by trying to overcome it, but by replacing it with a new assumption, by choosing faith over fear, by choosing possibility over limitation, by choosing to see yourself as the powerful creator you truly are instead of the powerless victim doubt wants you to believe you are. So right now, in this moment, make a decision. Decide that you are done with doubt. Decide that you are no longer going to let it run your life. Decide that you are going to assume the best about yourself and your future. Decide that you are going to live from the end result. Decide that you are going to be the person who knows, not the person who hopes. The person who assumes, not the person who wishes. The person who claims, not the person who begs. You have that power. You have always had that power. Doubt has just been covering it up, hiding it from you, making you forget. But now you remember, now you know, now you can choose. And every moment is a new opportunity to choose. Every breath is a chance to assume something different. Every thought is a chance to create something new. Your life is not happening to you. Your life is responding to you. It's responding to your assumptions. It's responding to your beliefs. It's responding to the identity you hold in consciousness. And when you truly understand that, when you truly get that you are the one in control, that your assumptions create your reality with perfect precision, doubt loses its power. Because doubt can only exist when you think you're at the mercy of external forces. But when you know you're the creator, when you assume your power, doubt has nowhere to live. So go forward from this moment as a person who knows, a person who assumes, a person who claims they're good, without apology or hesitation, a person who refuses to be limited by their past or their current circumstances, a person who sees the infinite field of possibilities and chooses the reality they want to experience. A person who has destroyed doubt forever by replacing it with unwavering faith in themselves and in the creative power that flows through them. This is your time. This is your moment. This is your life to create. And it starts with a simple shift in assumption. It starts with choosing to believe something different. It starts with deciding that doubt no longer has authority over you. It starts with claiming the identity of the person you want to be and living from that place, right here, right now, regardless of what you see around you. The fastest way to destroy doubt forever is to stop giving it your attention, your energy, your belief. Stop agreeing with it, stop arguing with it, stop entertaining it. Simply choose a new assumption and commit to that assumption. No matter what. Live from it, think from it, feel from it, act from it, be it. And watch as your entire world rearranges itself to match the new story you're telling in consciousness. You are the author of your life. You are the creator of your reality. You are the one who decides what's possible and what's not. And when you truly claim that power, when you truly own that responsibility, when you truly assume your greatness, doubt doesn't stand a chance. It dissolves in the light of your knowing. It disappears in the face of your faith. It crumbles under the weight of your assumption. This is not theory. This is not philosophy. This is practical, applicable truth that you can use right now to transform your life. You don't need to wait. You don't need to prepare. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to assume. You just need to claim. You just need to know. And from that place of knowing, everything you desire flows to you effortlessly, naturally, inevitably. So make the choice. Destroy doubt forever by assuming what you want is already done, by living as the person who already has it, by thinking the thoughts that person thinks, by feeling the feelings that person feels, by embodying the identity that person embodies. And watch as the universe rushes to give you evidence of what you've assumed. Watch as doors open that were previously closed. Watch as opportunities appear that weren't there before. Watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. This is your birthright. This is your power. This is your truth. And the moment you assume it, the moment you claim it, the moment you live it, doubt becomes nothing more than a distant memory of who you used to be before you remembered who you really are. A powerful, unlimited, magnificent creator with the ability to assume any reality you choose and watch it manifest before your eyes. That's who you are. That's what you can do. And that's the truth that sets you free from doubt forever.